Hi, I'm Stuart Saunders from Typhoon Defence. Today we're going to talk about transitions between targets. That's when you shoot one target and then you need to move the gun to another target some distance away, or even at short distance. But how do you move the gun across? And several things are very important. First one we discussed in a previous video about stance is having the correct stance. So in my stance, I have the stock as close to the centre line as I can. I have my head on top of it, my right hand in, my left hand at the front of the gun, weights on the ball of my feet, my back is leaning slightly forward, and that's a nice comfortable stance for me to take recoil in. Now when we move to another target, we need to move using our legs, and we move. Our arms, our head, the gun don't actually change. Don't change their position. We don't push the gun over, we just twist on our hips. And it's very important to keep this alignment of the gun, the two arms, the head and the upper body all the same all of the time. That way we don't need to learn how to shoot in a different position. The shooting position of the gun against the body should be as close to the same every time we fire a shot. So when we move to a different target, we move everything in the upper body as one, and just the legs will move us left and right. Okay, so I'll show you from a few different angles. Okay, so if we're moving to the right, now the arms don't change position. I'll show you again this way. Everything's done with the hips and the balls of the feet. And from this side, nothing should change. Again, the principle of minimum disruption. Okay, you don't want to disrupt that shooting platform, your stance and your hold on the gun. The next thing to remember is that your eyes move first. So if we're shooting a target over here, and then we're going to shoot a target over to my right hand side, you shoot the target, your eyes look across to the new target and stay fixed on it, and then you turn into it, and as you see in your peripheral vision the red dot coming across, you're still looking at the target, you'll see the red dot coming in, and as it comes into line with the target, the gun will go bang. So it's always eyes, move, eyes, move, eyes, move, and again. And if you have a series of targets, you'll look at each one individually. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you can practice that with in dry fire with targets like this. So I stand 12 feet away from it, which is the other side of the garage, and I practice aiming at this one, pulling the trigger, look at this one, then move the gun to it, look at this one, move the gun to it, and I have different exercises that I do. So I'll start here and go up and go back, and backwards and forwards around the face of the clock, moving from left to right and then right to left. And there's other targets on this garage door as well. And that's the basics of it. Basics of it, you do as little as you can, little as possible. Keep everything locked in. Good right arm position, good left arm position, but central, as close to the centre line as you can. Your head clamping it down on top, weight on the balls of your feet, nice bend in your legs, fairly short stance, and just move with your hips. Again, it's another thing where people have, if you have too long a stance, okay, if you're really leaning into it, it starts to become harder to turn, and you have to do a lot more movement with your feet, or certainly I do for my flexibility. So I'm in my short stance up here and I can turn. Now my feet don't need to move. If I'm longer, my feet will need to move. Some flexible people out there might get away with it, but I can't. It's another reason for having that short stance, bent legs, weight forward, weight on the balls of your feet that you can twist. You can twist your hips. Bending the knee in the short stance gives you that flexibility. And it's always the eyes first. You can't shoot a target unless you can see it. So you look at the target and then everything comes into it. Now, another thing that people can get or have problems with is when you're shooting up or down. So if you're shooting a target on the floor close to you, the gun's obviously going to be pointing down. If you're shooting something in the distance or something on a raised platform, it's going to be higher up. And you see a lot of people will do this. Now, if you drop the gun down, your head's going to come off of it. And again, if you rise it up, you're going to have problems. Nothing changes. It's the same going left to right, same as going up and down. If you want to shoot something further down, your body's going to lean further into it. So we're here shooting a target in the distance, and then we're shooting something closer, your body's going to lean into it. Shooting low, shooting high, shooting right, shooting left. Now this action of just pushing the gun and doing it with your arms is called muscling the gun. And muscling the gun never works. Well, it will work, but it's you'll never be really fast. You have to do everything with your hips. And like I say, the best way to do that is to train it on a wall like this, video yourself, look at the movement, and analyse it. And always have that in the back of your mind. Nothing at the top moves. You're like a tank turret. Okay? Hope that helps. Catch you later.